Okay, I got green lights. I'm back. All right, so what we're going to do today, I don't know how long I'm going to be on here. I might be on here a short time because I have a lot of people calling me now, and got to stay focused and stay connected with them. This is Clear Blue Radiance. Today's date is April the 3rd, 2025. And so this is going to be an opportunity for me to share something that's always interesting. Usually, thoughts come to me from meditation or just talking to different people at different times of the day. Now, this particular topic is Are You Awake Yet? That is the title that I have chosen. And many of you are aware that I have been podcasting for some time, as far back as 2006, 2005, 2006, all over the place. Justin.tv, podcasting, Podbean, Spreaker, Blog Talk Radio, with my own accounts and with other people as well. This is an opportunity to share this information. I've done some of my things you can see on, listen to on Spotify when I was using Anchor. So what I'm attempting to do today is give you this source of information, and hopefully it'll tap something inside of you, and it may cause you to think, or maybe you're already familiar with this topic, how I might care to present it. Right now, I'm going to see if I can put my Instagram folks in here. There we go. So my goal today is to share this information with you so that you can receive something from it, maybe trigger something inside of you as a way or a means that you could have greater clarity in your own life. So let me put my title in here. Hold on. And one of the things about being able to do this is to allow our internal presence to rise to the surface and be seen. Light that we have within ourselves allows us to be seen. Light comes to us in forms of words, things that we say, our feelings, descriptions, things that we try to do to describe what's going on with ourselves. And it's our hope that we're able to do this where people can feel greatly connected to us in a way that's healing and creates wholeness. Also gives us an opportunity to show more love into the world. We know there's a lot of stuff going on, and we can't be asleep about whatever we see that's going on in the world, but we don't have to be consumed by it either. A lot of what we see in the world sometimes comes across as anger, threats. You don't see that. A lot of it is misinformation. A lot of it is designed to keep you off balance emotionally, to shut down mentally, and things of that nature. So I came up with this title, Are You Awake Yet? And we have to remember that we have the ability to control the way that we think, the way that we feel, the way that we may react to what is going on around us. And we know we're being bombarded, right, every day by news media, all the time. And now that we have cell phones, iPads, we're getting information all the time. And so we're the ones that have to find some moments of peace, some moments of silence, where we're out in nature or we're sitting down and sharing a meal or a cup of coffee or tea with like minded people. Now, we always have people in our circles that are pushing us to come to their side and see things the way that they want you to see them. And that's all well and good, but if you can't see what they see or can't understand what they understand, then you need to take control of your own mind, your own thoughts, your own feelings, and strive to control that. There we are, peace. So it's important. Now, there are a lot of metaphysical people who are already in the light and already on this side of the veil. Back in the days, it was Neville Goddard. Um, there was a guy by the name of Norvell who used to come into New York City and teach. There are many other people. The late great Dick Gregory had a lot of positive things after his time of overcoming his weight and changing that around and coming out with his bohemian diet. You got people out there today like Queen of Fool, who's been around a long time. I remember her meeting her years ago along with uh, Aris Latham, Lloyd Strayhorn, myself, the late John Harris, and many other people at the UCLA in Harlem. And that was the university at the corner of Lenox Avenue and West 125th Street, called the Old Tree of Life Bookstore. And people would be descending upon that place learning about herbalism. They've learned from the late, great uh, Dr. John E. Moore. Now, he was given that title of doctor down in, I believe, in Temple University, where the Asiatic black students had him come down and talk about herbs and how to identify herbs. And he would take people on various nature walks. He would take people into some trails that he had never been in, but he had so much knowledge about herbs and how to identify herbs, he could very well take care of you on that trail. And I remember back in 1970, I think it was 1979, I went on a bus trip and it was a group of us that went. You know, Lloyd Strayhorn was there with his children. I was there with friends. Many other practitioners and teachers were there. And what happened was he took us to Wyckoff, New Jersey, to a park there. He had been there before, and he took everybody out on a nature walk, identifying various plants in the ground, which you could use with those plants. And there was one that he would, show you the leaf. He said, "I'm not going to tell you what this is because I don't want people coming here trying to get high off of it." He didn't give the name, but he identified it. I remember that same day while we were walking, a woman got stung by a bee. And right, literally on the back of her hand, I think she was swiping it away, and somehow it landed on her and stung her. And within minutes, she started getting ready to pass out. What was fortunate was that she was there with three of her sons, a teenager and two adult sons, and I believe her husband. And because there was two busloads of us that left Harlem to go there, and they took her back to the area where we were seated, like the picnic area, put her body up on the table, like he said. But before doing that, he found a particular leaf on a tree, had a spray bottle, sprayed off the dust or whatever that was on the leaves, broke the leaf, pushed out the juice out of the leaf, and started applying it to this woman's bee sting. Then he had a pair of tweezers. He was able to pull out the stinger, and then he applied some other kind of herbal salve that he was carrying around. and then wrapped it with a little bit of gauze. By the time we got back after a 30-40 minute walk, hike through this area, about 45 minutes, once we got back there, this woman's swelling had gone down. She wasn't feeling that dizzy sickness or anything of that nature. This man was a master of herbs. And he used to teach on a Wednesday night up in Harlem at the old Tree Life bookstore. And guess who was his group of students? Pre med students from Hunter College, Columbia University, NYU, Fordham University. They were converging there to get his guidance, knowledge, wisdom, his truth about the study of herbs and what they could do with your body. Back in those days, Laris ate them. He had a place called Sun Fried Foods. And what he meant, he was just being straight out vegan back then. I didn't know anything about that. You know, it was so much information. I did my best to absorb as much as I could. And to have this opportunity to be around these people. Now I wish I had taken advantage of it and I would know more now and would be able to apply more to myself now because I'm in my 70s. But I was in my 20s back then. And, you know, and meeting these beautiful people and seeing them be able to do what they could do. I think the only one that I maintained the longest contact with was Lloyd Strayhorn because he would put me on as his first guest on WLIB radio October 1st or 2nd, which was a Friday in 1982. When he signed off the air 7 years later, he brought me on again. When he went on New York City cable TV, he had me as a guest then. I mean, he was just doing it. You know, I didn't think I was ready for all that attention, but I had a lot of fun, exchanged a lot of information with many, many other people. And now, I believe it was 2021, August 2021, he put me on his very first guest on YouTube and using Restream accounts and stuff. So we've managed to, you know, hang together through the years and be out there teaching, writing our books. And what is this that I'm really leading up to? Because today's topic is, are you awake? I didn't say, are you awake enough? I said, are you awake? Do you know that you're awakening something inside yourself? Do you know that you are waking up to something new about yourself? Every day we are accumulating information. Every day. Even when you're not even when you're silent and you're out and about or that you're home, you are gathering information. Your body is gathering information. The cells deep within inside you are gathering information. You are a person who is a seeker of truth, a seeker of knowledge, a seeker of wisdom. And now I'm beginning to understand. I didn't understand it when I was younger. You know, I was in my teens. You know, why, parents say hang out with the elders. I didn't get it. I thought I wanted to be outside playing with friends. I didn't understand that I was getting all this information. I didn't really remember or understand it until I got into my 40s. Then it clicked. There's a reason why they wanted me to be around them. Because those family members, especially my mother at that time, she knew from the time I was born that I was going to have an opportunity to be where I am right now. But I didn't understand it. She used to tell me, you can retire at age 35. I says, who does that? Anybody in the family? I didn't know. I didn't really understand what she was saying to me, even though she was breaking it down and making it as simple as possible for me to understand. And then, of course, when she got sick, hey there, Melanie, when she got sick, wasn't feeling right, then I started to realize, oh, I have a source. I have a living source, a living encyclopedia of people. And I remember a couple years before she passed, we were staying with um, one of her older sisters, and I remember she was really struggling with all the medicines in her body. And she sat me down and says, "Where are these places that you go on Saturdays that you take the train to?" I said, "No, I go up into Harlem. Also, go up into Brooklyn. There's a guy over there named Doctor Kite, Kyte, Wolde. Never heard a name like that. Wolde, Wolde, and he was a naturopath doctor. And she says, I prayed over it, and I prayed over it, and I need to go. I said, okay, well, let me give him a call. Well, it turned out where he lived in Brooklyn, in this nice house, he didn't have any appointments that day because it was a Saturday. And he said, if you can get your mom here at 11 a.m., I'm going to be with her for at least 2 hours. Check her heart, maybe get a blood sample, but we'll see. Have her come. And I took her. And he actually gave her an itinerary of things to do. The only thing was, is when we got back home, her older sister thought it was a joke at the time. Hookshot Charlie, my friend, how you doing? And her older sister and her older sister's children, they didn't understand. But I did the best. I took her there. And here was the deal. Even though my mother was struggling from diabetes and all these things for many, many years prior to getting this opportunity to sit with a young person who was a naturopath doctor, it brought peace to her because she made a step for herself. And she hugged me and thanked me for it, for taking her to this doctor. And we went up into Harlem a few times. She thanked me for that. Why? Because it was opening up the internal mind currents in her body to be able to say, okay, when it's time for me to cross over, I may not be on this high plateau of health, but I'm leaving the planet with a new way of thinking, a new way of being. The seeds have been planted so that if I am to come back into another life upon this earth or in another parallel lifetime, I will come back with the wisdom that I captured at the end of this life. And I thought that was profound. Because people ask me, can you be in touch with your ancestors across the veil? And my answer is yes, you can. Do they hear you? Yes, they do. Do you have to pay them? People say, well, I give them offerings. I wasn't raised to give an offering. My offering was get off my duster in the world and apply what I know, what I understand, the teachings that I got from all these elders. That was my way of seeding to creating an offer to them, was to let them know that this is doable, this is possible, and I'm now doing it. Am I struggling with some health situations? Yes, I am. I'm going to be transparent. But a lot of people told me, well, this is going to happen to you. And they said that to me 15 years ago. That didn't happen. Somebody else told me something else that was supposed to happen 10 years ago. That didn't happen. And the most important thing was, oh, you're not going to make it past age 68. Well, I'm 73 now. As of March 16th of this year, I turned 73. So obviously, I'm around. My older brother's around. Why? Because we got all this information that we could lock into and tune into. And this is important for us to realize. There are things that we can still tune into that give us whatever we desire, whatever we need. One of my spiritual daughters had called me this morning and she said, I was listening to, you got me listening to Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith, and he said on one of his old podcasts that the body renews itself every 7 years. Your whole body, you're a whole different person every 7 years. So when you start to think about that, from the time you're born and up to when you hit seven, by the time you hit seven, you got a new little body. You got trillions of cells working in your system, keeping the blood healthy, keeping the liver, the other glands healthy, keeping the lungs clear. You got all this going on inside your body. And this is the topic, are you awake yet? Do you know that you're awakened through your wellness? Do you know you're awakened through your awareness of certain things that are going on around yourself? Are you awakened to the fact that you have a pretty strong memory system and that you can remember anything you so choose to remember? So we got to start putting this stuff together. And this is why I said earlier, there's the things that we see in the world that are happening in the world right now have been happening for many years prior. Seeds were planted many years prior, but so were you. So, what is this 7 year cycle? Every 7 years, you got to a sense of newness with yourself, a new body, new cells. Now, if we're able to take care of the body quite well in a natural way, then the skin is going to shine, the eyes are going to get bright, you name it. The bones will be resilient and more flexible and yet strong for you to walk around in this body suit every 7 years. That means when you hit age 7, then age 14, then age 21, then age 28. And they call that in astrology the Saturn return cycle when you hit age 28. And then you go for another 27 years, 27 to 28 years after that. So you can work yourself up to the eighth cycle of 7, which is what? 56. The ninth cycle of 7 is what? 63. The 10th cycle of 7 then should put you right around 72 in that 10th cycle of 7. Actually, is 70, right? I'm 73, so I'm 3 years in. So, what that says over these next 40 years before this cycle ends, and I hit whatever that next one is, which would put me at 79 if I'm looking at it like that, then here's the thing that I can do for myself. But my late mother used to say, keep on living. And I said, what do you mean by that? She says, keep doing the things that allow you to honor yourself in your connection to the God force of the universe, however you want to call it, so that you can arrive, so that you can arrive at a higher state of awareness, a higher state of being, so that you can keep growing. How do you keep growing? You keep learning. See, these brain folds, they're going to keep doubling up because you're taking in more information every day. You're taking in information by talking to people or listening to other people as they go through situations, and you're doing it in a loving manner without what? Without judgment. So we want everybody to listen to us without judgment. Okay, we don't need anybody to criticize what we're doing. We've been beaten up enough, so we need more love in our system, right? I always say go in front of a mirror and love yourself up. Tell as much positive things that you can to yourself so that you can what? Continue to grow a new awareness about yourself. That's why the topic is, are you awake yet? What are you awakening to? What did you just wake up from? Do you know that every moment of the day you're taking in information? Cell phone is giving you 1,000 bits of information, right? All the time. Yes, without judgment. Can we look at ourselves without judgment? Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith says, he says, stop judging yourself. In other words, we can be our worst enemy. We could tattletale on ourselves. We can make ourselves feel really, really crappy. So it's time to pick ourselves up. It's time to say to yourself, looking at mirror, and say, hey, if I'm looking in there at myself and say, hey, Brother Francis, you got a whole world ahead of you. You got a whole new runway ahead of you. And you're going to do what? You're going to jump on it and you're going to move forward. This is the deal. Can you move forward? See, there's a lot of people are going to tell you you're not worth anything. They don't know what your worth is. There's some people going to tell you, "Oh, you're not a creator or you're not an artist." They've never seen your work though, and neither do they show you their work. So don't worry about what someone else is saying about you. Be more concerned of how you say things about yourself. Can you embrace yourself? Can you look at yourself and tell yourself you're much better today than you were yesterday? In fact, you're going to get to a point where you can't remember nothing from yesterday. If you think you become a senior, right, you go, I can't remember where I put my glasses. I start to laugh at myself. One day I was living in it was 1974 to 1975, somewhere there. I was living in Plainfield, New Jersey, with one of my mother's younger brothers, and he was bald headed, and he paid a lot for a pair of glasses, And one day he was moving around the apartment so much he was cussing up a storm, and I had just been sleeping for 3 hours from doing a shift as a security guard at some truck stopping place, And I finally got home, got off work at 7 a.m., and it took me about an hour to get home. Got home, stopped and got some breakfast things for him as well. But I remember him being in his little area that was like his living room dining area, because it was almost these apartments were set almost like a barrack house, go straight back. And he says, Francis, I need your help. So I said, oh, okay. I slept in what was actually his living room, but it was like a makeshift bedroom. So I come in my PJs, with my robe on. He said, man, I can't find my glasses. I don't know where I put those glasses. I've been reading the paper with my glasses, and I put them down. So I said, okay. I put my arm around him, gave him a little kiss on the side of his head. I said, so I want you to take a deep breath, Uncle. He said, why? Why I gotta take a deep breath? Just take a deep breath. Now roll your eyes up and look into the mirror. And they was sitting comfortably on this part of his head. And he had the string like I do, now. Have that string attached to the glasses. And he looked at me. He said, man, I've been walking around for 30 minutes looking for these glasses, and I couldn't feel them on the top of my head. And we cackled that day. See, we're doing things at a rapid pace all the time. We're trying to cover a lot of bases as if it's our last day on earth, our last moment. But what we should be doing is reaching out and covering those bases so that we can achieve it. Here's my friend Hookshot Charlie. He says, don't let nobody tell you what you can't do, especially if they have not done it. Bingo. If you're ever on Instagram, I originally saw Hookshot Charlie when I was on TikTok. I closed down my TikTok account December 31st of last year. This man was out there with all kind of basketballs doing hook shots 20 feet away, hook shots 30 feet away, hook shots from a corner of an outdoor basketball court, not missing. Then he went to like a high school or a college doing the same thing, not missing. Hook shot Charlie. He changed his own life around. And he's well known right down there, North Carolina, am I right? Cindy to Restart. I know Cindy from my days of being on Long Island. We had a mutual friend together. Cindy is out there doing things, recreating a new life for herself. We all can do it, right? We all are creators. We all are peacemakers. We all have principles. And that's another thing to itself. People talk about our schools are not this, our schools are not that, and sometimes teachers and vice presidents are agitating teachers to do better. Yet the vice president who used to be a teacher has forgotten the rules of teaching. See, children can learn. They learn from everybody, but they will learn from the teacher that influenced them the most. I always used to say to people, the word Princeple is what The same name with the PAL is supposed to be living. So someone that says, I'm a vice principal, that's PAL at the end of a high school, of a grade school. I'm the principal of this high school or grade school. Well, how you got to be the principal? Did you live out the principles? Can you demonstrate the principles of education? Because if you can, then you are truly a principal. And your principality is the school that you are the principal of or the vice principal of. You see, we have these spiritual laws that are principles in our life, that if we attach ourselves to one of them, we shall become the one that we attach ourselves to, and then we shall what? Begin to personify it onto the planet. We'll be able to, other people can see it through you. Yes, he's in North Carolina. Woohoo! Cindy 2 Restart just got personal training certification too. See, if we stay on the thing that we desire to become, we shall become. The late Reverend Ike, one of my mentors, never had a chance to meet him in person, but my mother and I would study his material. He would say this: when you use the name God energy as I am in capital letters, he said, whatever you place after it, you shall become. So he said, so if you get up one day, you're not feeling well, and you're feeling like you're coming down with a sinus cold or something, he said, don't claim it too long because it will actually become, you'll start becoming all of that energy. He would say, no matter how bad you feel physically, tell yourself, I am well. Keep repeating to yourself, I am well. And then what happens, because you say it a lot, then you start to feel what it's like for to do that. Because you start having this image in your mind of absolute clarity. Seeing yourself getting up out of bed, seeing yourself being able to clear the sinus congestion out of your face, see yourself clear it out of your throat, see yourself clear it out of your body. You start listening to the cells in the dream world telling you exactly what to do. Your dream, you might have a specific dream where the cell tells you, I need some lemon in some water, but I need that water to be really up there vibrating. I need you to envision, if you can't get the lemon, I need you to envision lemon juice in the water, then drink it. See, all these things we can do, we can create. We just have to keep on creating. We have to be like an inventor. You keep on inventing till that thing is done, till it's working for you. Then you start introducing it to other people. But you become that first for yourself. That's the whole goal. Become that first for yourself. So, even though we arise from sleep or come out of our meditation sessions, we often might ask ourselves the same question, but it's twofold. We might ask, are we awake yet? Means when when you get up, you're a little groggy. You're like in that little psychic realm. You're just out of sleep. You're just out of almost in the alpha state. Another hour you can wake up. So right in there, you start remembering things. You're aware that you had a dream, or you're aware that you couldn't remember a dream. But here's the bottom line: you had something. Something transpired inside yourself, and now you're trying to bring it up to the surface so you can see it for yourself. Now, when you're trying to bring it up to the surface, that means you are still what? Plugged in. Don't worry, the bear is around. He used to call me a little standing bear. He's around. He is here. He's walking around. I saw someone yesterday that looked just like him. He's around. So here's the thing. We got to love ourselves enough to produce stuff, to constantly produce stuff, right? We have to start creating more often. Remember when you were a child, you used to doodle, you used to draw, you used to try to put things together. Two twigs, two sticks, you name it, you were doing something. If you had play toys, you were trying to play like you were a cook or like you were a chef. And then you had something that you could create something. You had crayons, you had crayons, you had charcoal, you had pen. I had all those things, but I had to use them. And then when I went off to college, I learned not to let the meanest, nastiest professor tell me I wasn't going to graduate. He put that thought out there real strong. End of my sophomore year, I had to do a moderation, which means I had to defend my artwork. But he set me up. I didn't understand that I was set up to fail. But guess what? Went home from the summer, fasted, prayed, spoke to some relatives, especially my elders, got in touch with some artist friends of mine in New York City, turned me around, turned me around, turned me around. Next thing I know, I got back there, I was ready to go. I stayed on campus for 4 days for Thanksgiving during that time. That was 1973, 1972 going into 73. Because I was working on being a junior. I was almost a junior except for the major, but I was a junior in every other subject matter. He was trying to trick me out so I wouldn't graduate. Ah, nope. Fasted and prayed, and guess what? Got a vision from an angel. Angel took me to Yankee Stadium, turned on the stadium lights, took me onto the mound, and instead of me standing there throwing the ball 90 feet, he said, "No, I'm gonna give you a director's chair." I said, "Why I need a director's chair?" He said, "You'll see. You see the people, see the umpire down there at home plate?" I says, "Yeah." He says, "We're gonna put a table there over home plate. You can put wine and cheese and crackers there too. You're gonna make them professors feel at home. And your home plate umpire is that tall fella that you see all the time on campus. That was a HEOP director, Larry Johnson. You're gonna invite him to be an umpire at home plate, and he's 6'2", 6'3", and he's gonna show up in his brown leather outfit because that's him. And then you gonna put him in a director's chair, so all of that footage is gonna look down on that. And you're gonna create 100 drawings in charcoal, and you're gonna create 50 and 60 paintings on paper, and you're gonna just create so much in there. They don't know what to say, but you're gonna memorize the position of everything. And I was able to do that, and found out later that they passed me using what they call retroactive moderation. And they gave me an A because I wrote a distinctive letter to that college that said, if you choose to fail me, I know that I passed. If you choose to pass me, then you know that what I said and what I demonstrated was the truth. Hey there, Joanne Ware. How you doing? So people begin to see what you can do. Never cut yourself off. Don't cut yourself off from opportunity. You can do anything you want to do. Anything. And so when I went to that college and I stood there for 3 hours, just like the freshman, sophomore year, I was in there 3 hours battling. But when I came back that second time in battle, I was all smiles. They would ask me stuff, and I would start the conversation with a laugh. And I would end the conversation with a laugh. And eventually, that letter that I sent during the summer at the end of my sophomore year, going into my junior year, I didn't attack anybody, but I laid it out so well. One of those chapters in the biblical thing that says, I see through a glass darkly. That's the crystal ball. At one time, I spoke as a child, but now that I'm a man, I'm going to speak as a man. I said that in so many words. Hey there, Barbara. That message got across in 3 hours that second time. And when some friends helped me take things back to the campus, When that happened, because they had a car, helped me take my things back to my dorm. We went into the gym where there was a basketball game. And in that basketball game, there was Marist College playing my college, Bard College basketball. It was like everybody was waiting to hear the message. When I walked in, the whole place got quiet. Larry was sitting there, the guy who I had set up in that high chair behind those professors. Vice president of the college was there. They were sitting side by side. When I walked in, all eyes rolled down in the small gym toward me. And they said, "What happened?" And I walked in and I tried to pretend like it was a down day. But I threw up my fingers like this. I says, "I won full honors that night." Even the opposing team was running over to me, shaking my hand. But that night, I realized I am a creator. I am an artist. I am very good at what I do. I am a highly spiritual person. I am a very good spiritual person. And I got power in my words when I talk that roll off of me and create a path ahead of me without judging myself. Yep, I graduated with honors. Other people that were due to graduate like that didn't get that opportunity. They got what they call pass, a P. And that's not easy to get either. But what I'm saying is when you awaken inside yourself, when you awaken, when that dragon comes out, that lion comes out, that lioness comes out, that unicorn comes out, that dove comes out, that warrior comes out, that speaker comes out, that teacher inside of you comes out, the one who's a reflection of upstairs in you comes out, known as your higher self. You can't be stopped. People can say anything they want to say, it's going to bounce off of you. So all this talk about is today is don't be listening to the news too intently because the news is designed to steer you off course. Be aware of the news, but don't let it take you off your course. If you got a neighbor next door to you that's trying to take you off course, don't let them do it. Even if it means you just could say, "Okay, okay, okay. I understand what this conversation is about. Have a pleasant day. Be blessed, be well, and walk away." You might have someone in your house that does the same thing to you. You don't have to argue who you are. You know who you are. Just be yourself. The one of the things to be is a peacemaker. Always shower your place with love. Shower yourself with love. Give yourself a standing ovation because other people won't. Other people say, "Oh, you're bragging." They don't know what you're doing. Why? Because they're not happy. I live here in a senior complex. I have people sometimes looking at me like, "Why are you so happy?" I said, "Why I'm supposed to be sad? Just because you're sad, and I'm sorry you're sad about something that you're going through, but I don't need to be sad. Two sad people ain't going to correct the situation, right? Just be yourself." I remember I didn't understand why my mother gave me the name Francis. I used to let people call me Frank. Why? Because that's what they wanted. But what they got was my frankness, my very directness, and they didn't like that. I said, "Well, see, now I'm in college. I'm Francis." They said, "Well, that means a gift of God." I don't care what it means. I'm a gift to myself first. I'm gifting myself. I'm loving myself with the gift of unconditional love first. My mother's first name is Grace. She was trying to show me what that meant, but I got it now. Grace is the highest you can get in your life. It's not some special reward that you get from wherever. Grace is instilled in you from the time that you're born. It's a special infinite software that stays with you, radiates from your heart, gives you the power of unconditional love and light and truth and honor and loyalty and friendship from the universe. The things you cannot see will befriend you and will make your life better. Hey, I'm just going on with the gift. The gift for me has been grace. How can I personify grace? I don't try to personify it. I just let it be what it is. My new teacher is Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. He asked me to become a member of Agape, which is in California. I could be a member right here. And he sends me these intentional, beautiful, intentional prayers. But what he's teaching me is he'll use my terminology in the intentional prayer, and how he strings it together empowers me when I read it. And sometimes I get in such a good groove that I empower him back. I bless him back with words. And then I ask a question. And he says, "You always been there. You just don't know that you're in it. You're in liquid light called grace. You already showing the world grace. You're already teaching the world grace. All I ask is don't put me on no pedestal. Just let me teach. That's all I ask. Let me share. That's all I ask." I see people joining me on here. Thank you. People I haven't seen in a while. Join where we'll connect. I needed to know how the numerology book works for you. There's so much that's going on in the world, but we create the new world based on how we are feeling. If we can tell ourselves every day, I am better today than I was yesterday, you'll get to a point where you don't even remember what you did yesterday. You can only remember what you did a few moments ago, a few seconds, a few minutes ago, a few hours ago. You'll be like the animals in the world. They got memory too, but they don't focus on it. They focus on what they see in you, what they smell coming off your body right now. That's what they are tuning to. So, can you imagine light that's on you from inside of you that's speaking to you all the time? Oh, thank you, Cindy. Thank you so much. We have to remain in power with ourselves. Do you know whatever's going to happen Saturday that people going to do in DC? There's a whole ton of people who ain't supposed to be there. Not out of fear, not out of not wanting to support. Somebody got to anchor somebody. My late mother used to say it all the time. She said, "You know, you spend so much time in the house. I think you're anchoring me." I says, "What do you mean?" I thought she meant following her. She says, "No, you're holding down the fort. I see what you're doing. You're contented sitting right there, drawing, and coming off your body is energy. That when someone thinks of you, they get calm. When someone thinks of you, they begin to laugh. When someone thinks of you, they feel that chi flowing through you that tells them, yeah, go out and treat yourself." This is why this topic is, are you awake yet? Did you wake up to the reality of your own truth of who you are? Are you listening to the divine truth that's been planted in you when you first entered this world? There were layers of seeds that were given to you that sprout through a 7-year process. And when it hits that point, the cycle starts again. You have an opportunity to move in a higher direction. And when you move into this higher frequency, I want you to understand that it's happening right now as I speak to you. You are doing something right now that's going to speak into your own life phenomenal things. You. And you're going to do it at your own pace. You. Hey, sometimes I get upset too. And I have to find a photograph of myself to calm myself down. But it's okay. It's okay. You see, do not allow yourself to be controlled by what you see on the news. A lot of that stuff is designed to keep you, us, weism, from becoming more of we who we are. It's designed for you not to stop and go into meditation. If you are a prayer warrior, it's designed to make you not pray another prayer until you wake up one day and says, wow, 2 weeks have gone by and I ain't released a prayer. I didn't go outside and pray to nature. I didn't go outside and walk on the earth. I didn't go outside and handle my crystals. I didn't go outside and tend to my plants. I didn't even eat right for myself. Do I remember eating? Oh, that's why I'm dizzy. I didn't drink enough water. I didn't eat the proper nutrients for myself so I can then go forth and do what I'm here to do. I don't want to sound like I'm preaching to anybody. I'm just talking from my heart now. Yes, Rose. Thank you. Golden Timeline 711. Thank you. Island Express. Thank you. Melanie. Thank you. Stoked Culture. Thank you. Javita underscore 9. Thank you. Holly Hemet. Thank you. And everybody else. I feel like saying some affirmations that are going to turn into a decree. You can receive it just listening to it. You can receive it just taking it in like a meditation, taking it in as a breath of fresh air. I'm going to start like this: through divine power and by divine grace. I affirm that everybody in here listening today, everybody that was supposed to come, that did come, you're free. Your mind is already liberated. I affirm that whatever you do now from this point forward, you're going to do it with great joy, great happiness, internal happiness. You're going to do it with courage for you. See, courage, that first part is actually a French word that means heart. And age is like the wisdom of the heart. So you're going to start to do things that are going to manifest greatness in your own life at your own time, according to the divine timing inside of you. I affirm that whatever you've been thinking about today, you're going to be able to make it happen in less than 36 hours. I affirm that if you're not feeling well, you're going to feel much better before we sign off. I affirm that each and every one of you, whether you're on Instagram or you're here through the YouTube channel for Resonant Essentials, Esoteric School of Metaphysics, that you are who you say that you are. Nobody else. I can't even tell you who you are, but you know who you are. And you're going to become more of that in every second, every moment of your own life. So it's time for me to decree a thing, and it shall be. I see and decree that each and every one of you is going to start creating so much stuff that you can't even find the creative tool that you used. I see and decree that new formulas will pop up in your mind and everything that goes along to create that formula. to create that recipe will show up at the right time for the right price just for you, and you will make it happen just for you. And for those who are close to you, who are ready to be awakened inside themselves and ready to listen intently inside themselves and ready to embrace these new things, these new ideas that are flowing down into your higher self and being given through the heart to yourself, and be able to give it as a seed to grow in the life of another person who desires to be what? Happier, more peaceful, more engaged with their life, where they know that they're receiving blessings, where they are becoming a blesser themselves. This is your opportunity to reflect source that's infinite around you, that's also embedded in you, and you're going to bring it out, and others will see your light. That means when someone looks at you and looks you in your eyes, they can say, "Oh man, I see light." And all you're going to do is say thank you and smile. And then you're going to say, "I see light in you too." We have to put so much positivity into the world where we are that negativity will uproot itself, dissolve, or run away. So we know there's people who are trigger happy, who are sitting around just can't wait to go bang, bang, bang. But they don't know there's people who are triggered by divine light, triggered by unconditional love, triggered from the state of non judgment, triggered from divine grace, triggered from a higher awareness, triggered from remembrance. I see and decree that everything that I'm saying right now, you already were living it. You're going to bring all these worlds together, all of these worlds together. You are going to receive, and you shall become. 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 So I want you to take that with you and know that you can move forward with a new reality about yourself. So everybody, anchor that light. Know that. Okay, I just had to write somebody, text somebody back. But just know that things are changing. Not things are about to change. Things are changing in very subtle ways on this planet right now. See, what we see in the world is calling out the light that's inside of us that's supposed to be out here shining. It will continue to shine. We are going to get better. And the more people that shine their light through any talent or skill that they have, even if it's the spoken word and poetry, even if it's writing new books and things, if people pray a lot more and meditate a lot more, you'll create a frequency that'll be like a grid, that'll become like a dome that will cover for miles and miles and thousands of miles, that will create a new wave of energy where everybody says, I don't feel like going to war no more. I'm going to put the weapon down. I don't feel like blasting another country. I don't need to do that. I just want to be in peace. I want to honor them with unconditional love. And just know that anything that you're about to do is going to enhance everything where you're at right now. Anything that you are about to do will enhance anything that you're doing right now. Yes. Golden Timeline says it here, 7-Eleven says it here, the YouTube channel. The flash of light will be seen when enough of us activate our heart light, as mentioned in the Neil Diamond song. So when enough come together, this is why it's good to see all those monks praying together and om, om, creating that rhythm that will be felt for miles. When enough people hit that frequency at the same time all over the world, and it comes in a ripple effect. When you have a ripple effect, that's from time zone to time zone to time zone to time zone, and all the points in between the time zones. When that ripple effect, it'll take off like a tsunami, and the light shall be. Even the darkness was there, was the womb, and the light in the womb, the seed, will show itself. It has to. It has to. You are part of the light. You're going to show your light more and more and more now. You're going to get up one day in the middle of the night where it's dark in your house and notice there's a certain vibration of light in here that I could see. And that's coming from you. Your internal light will show itself. The grace that's naturally in you, that you were born with, is going to come to the surface. In fact, let's all say, Om. Do a couple of them a day and watch the spirit of yourself, the living you on the inside, begin to radiate through your heart. That's why I wrote a book called Radiant Heart. That's why I wrote this book. The 7 amazing pathways to connect, activate, and communicate with your higher self. It's the higher self in you that wants to come out and play, wants to come out and show its light to the world. Many of you will show your light to the world. It has to come out. It can't stay inside you anymore. If you're getting a headache, it's not only because you're not drinking enough water, maybe don't have enough magnesium inside. You got light that needs to come out. It's got to have some place to go. It's got to seed into something. It's got to seed through something. It has to permeate you and what's outside of you. It has to flow in your auric field. You cannot contain this light anymore. There's a shift that's been happening for a long time. And all that negativity that we see in the world is the remnants of old stuff that's getting ready to die, break down. What's about to emerge is the 5D realm of consciousness. Your mind and your body and spirit doesn't have to go anywhere. It doesn't have to ascend to it. It's descending down to you, and it's only ascending from your cells on the inside of your body, matriculating itself and coming out so it can be seen. And you shall be well. Because, as the late Reverend Ike said, whatever you say after I am, you shall become. So open up your heart and your mind and say, I am, and whatever comes to mind first, say it. That's a seed that shall be planted in your life. Whatever the second word or phrase that comes out after you say, I am, plant it, release it. Let that be planted in your auric field. Let that be planted in your home. Let that be planted in your garden. If you're outside, if you're sitting in your car, let it be planted in your car. You lay hands upon yourself and say, I am, whatever you want to say. I'm going to say, I am divine grace in action. I am unconditional love in action. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am. Amen. And so it shall be. I'm signing off today. I got a couple more calls I got to make. I promised some people, and I need to make those calls right now. Those of you that'll be in the first Thursday night workshop, I'll see you there. Uh, when you arrive, I got my phone pinged for you, Barbara, so you're there. So I know that. Uh, I also do first Sundays. First Sundays I do using not this site. I have a Zoom link site that I work through. Anyway, if you want to know what I'm doing, how I'm doing, email me at iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com. That's iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com. Let me back up here and say thank you to the people that showed up here on my Instagram account. And then I'll go over here. I want to say thank you to Hookshot Charlie. Hadn't seen him in a long time. Tiffany Vincent, thank you. Holly Hemmett, thank you. Uh, I don't know how to pronounce it. Ibn Yahya, or Yahya, thank you. Ibn Yahya. Cindy to restart. I know you. Uh, who else that was in here? We had Jay Ware was here. I know you, Pisces friend from Arizona. Jay Ware 218. I'm gonna have to connect with you at some point. I'm also being thankful for all of you. Javita_9. Thank you so much for being here. Who else? Someone else was here. There was a gentleman that came in right toward the end. Yeah, Liquid Fire Heat. Thank you. Who else was here? Okay. So, first thing I got to do is sign off of Instagram because if I don't, and I cut off over here, I'll be walking around saying a lot of stuff. It'll pick up on here. So, everybody, thank you on Instagram. Have a pleasant weekend, pleasant rest of your day tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and hopefully I'll be able to record this live again next Thursday. Take care of yourself. I love you all unconditionally. My grace is your grace. Oh, your brother. All right. All right. Thank you so much. Bye now. And I'm going to shift over here to 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 everybody that's over here. Wow. What a day. Melanie Hall, thank you. Stoked Culture, thank you. Barbara Ewing, better known as Island Empress, thank you. Golden Timeline 711, thank you. Rose Jefferson, thank you. Ooh, what a day. Sometimes I got to watch myself. I get caught up with a lot of energy when I'm doing this, but this is pretty cool. Even even my teacher popped up on in another app, and I had to communicate with him at the same time. So, but anyway, life is grand. Life is it's going to get better. We're going to make it better because we have something to do here in this world beyond ourselves, our friends, our families. But we've been invested with some sacred energy, sacred medicine inside ourselves that's going to be planted into this world. So we got to let ourselves plant the seeds. We got to let ourselves do what we're here to do and make it happen. This is why I said not everybody's supposed to be in DC. Not everybody's supposed to be. There's going to be stuff happening here in Albuquerque same time. But I know better. I'm not going to be in that circuit of energy. Nothing's wrong with the energy, but it's like this. So you have to be careful where you're going to be so you can have an exchange in a highlighted manner, in a higher frequency manner. That's important to realize. So it's going all over the United States. But you have to know inwardly where you are supposed to be. Because if you don't know ahead of time where you are supposed to be, you could wind up igniting something that you're not supposed to ignite, or wound up in a space that you're not supposed to be in. So it's very, very important to be careful about where you will find yourself to be. And that's what I'm going to say. I don't want to say too much beyond that point. Yes, smash the like button, share and subscribe. Thank you, everybody. And before I get off, sometimes we got stuff going on at Resonant Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics. Physics. I am the meditation teacher there. I'm there every Saturday from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. for just a minimum fee of $10. You can pay in cash, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, and a check. Oh, and Square. I can take your credit and debit card for that. What else I want to tell you? There's a lot of things going on there for Resident Essentials. All you got to do is go to the website. If you're out here, There's certain, if you're not out here, there's certain classes that happen online. There's tarot classes that go online. There's astrology things that are happening online. I think my friend Michelle, who's the president of Resident Essentials nonprofit organization, she has something going online as well as teach you in person at the same time. You need to go to www.resonantessentials.com. ResonantEssentials.com. If you're out here in Albuquerque, then you go to the address 2703 Broadbent Parkway Northeast, Suite J, here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, zip code 87107 1600, something like that. But anyway, go to the website and you'll see everything you want to know, what's going on. We have all kind of events happening all the time. Okay, so I'm going to sign off now, for my throat gets a little rusty, and I've got a few more hours to rest before I go teaching tonight again. And I'll be in there with Barbara Ewing, and we're going to cover the first Thursday workshop of the month. And that topic will be something. I tell you, I got so much stuff here. I'm truly the shaman's cavern. I got a lot of papers, but it'll be a very interesting one. It's all about how to get through life with less baggage. I believe that's the topic. So we'll be able to talk about that tonight. And then I only got, I think, 90 minutes to 2 hours to discuss that tonight. And after that, I got to get together with that poet laureate in my family up in Oakland and discuss things with her, see what she wants to do for her poem that she wants to put out there. So I think I've talked out enough. Melanie Hall, yes, thank you for being here. Rose Jefferson, thank you for being here. See you all real soon. Have a great rest of your day. Take care now.